Good morning. Welcome back. It's Monday. We've got a busy, beautiful day here today. I've already been to the John Deere dealer and back. I got new batteries for our A335 because apparently they were junk. And I got a few other things, grease, stuff that we needed. So Brock is here. He's getting the 8430 unhooked from the beam planter because we're going to use that on our vertical tillage disc. We've got that tractor fueled up. The dealer is coming down sometime today to fix the air conditioner on it. And we're going to get the 8300 and the corn planter out of my seed warehouse, get that unhooked. Dad wants to use that tractor to put on a pan to move some dirt. We're going to put the 8R on the little field cultivator, and we're going to go to town here today, but it's going to be a lot of jockeying stuff around this morning getting ready. Okay, that tractor's good. All right, so we got those batteries put in. Brock has taken the 830 right there. We're gonna go get hooked up to this disc. The tongue has dropped on that disc, which is super weird because it's back heavy, and usually we have to put the jack down in the back, which it is. I can see it from here. And you don't worry about the front, but I don't know what's going on here. So I'm taking this tractor to help lift it up and get it where it needs to be. You will notice I did a little more field cultivating yesterday. I finished these fields around the farm here with the big tractor yesterday, so it all went pretty smoothly. Everything looks really good, and we're gonna keep doing some more today. You can see this thing like teetering. There's not much weight on the tractor here, but I'm just trying to get it lifted up enough that there. All right, I know you can't see anything, but he's got it. So I should be able to let it down and back out of here. Should be able to get the pin in. Okay, well, that should be good. Pull it ahead and get out of the holes where it's settled all winter. Okay, he's gonna take it up, pull it in front of the shop, and check all the tires. The ones on the ground at least look okay, but we'll have to check them and grease everything. So we're gonna take this back up. Okay, we gotta take this corn planter back down to the shop. Well, the back of the shop. We're just gonna park it, unhook it. I don't really have it hooked up. I just grabbed it with a 2-point. I didn't hook up any of the hoses or anything. And then Dad wants to use this tractor, so I was gonna put this one on the little field cultivator and start using it, but Dad said he wants to use it, which is fine. We got other tractors. Good enough here. It isn't going to be here very long, so I'm not too worried about it. So here's that pan or scraper or whatever you want to call it that Dad wanted to use. It's a 7 or 8 yard Ashland scraper. He cleaned out a ditch last fall, winter, December-ish, and he kind of leveled stuff off with the backhoe the other day. He wants to take that and scoop it up and haul it out into the low spot in the field, all the stuff that he dipped out of the ditch. So we'll see how Brock's doing here. We got to get the 8R out of the shop, so we can go hook up to that little field cultivator. It's starting to look like a log yard around here, Dad.
I'm going to stockpile them and put them in a smaller area.
You got more to pick up?
No,
that's
right.
it.
No,
Okay, more to cut, but we got them all. Okay, so recognize this field. See that? That's an irrigation lane. This is our irrigated field. It's going to go to beans, and we're just going to look at it. We chiseled it or ripped it. We're going to see if it's dry enough to fit it down here. When it breaks apart, we're good to go. And this is the low spot. It is cold. The soil is cold. The tile is not running. It's dry. Okay, Dad and I got back to the farm here. Brock got the disc ready. He's working on the packer, and we had a hydraulic hose that had a hole in it. Go figure. So turns out we had one in the parts bin. Like, what a deal. So we're just putting it on. Okay, well, that looks good. We're gonna pull that up out of the way. We're gonna get this tractor out, go hook up the other field cultivator. Good news, guys. The tractor started. No jump pack, no battery charger, no nothing. Just new batteries. Okay, there it is. This field cultivator is the one that we just had in the shop a week or two ago, so it doesn't need anything. It's all done. We just need to go through the packer. There is a flat tire on it, so we're gonna have to fix that, or just air it up and hope that it holds air, is what I mean by fix. And grease it and double check the bearings and stuff, but then this one will be good to go. And it's lunchtime, so we're gonna stop and grab something to eat very quickly and then head to the field this afternoon. So turns out we didn't have any spare tires, and that one wasn't, it was flat, but there was nothing really wrong with it. There's actually a tube in there. The stem had fallen in, which is why we couldn't just pump it up where it was. So we took it off, and we had to break the bead. I took the tube out, we checked it. The tube was fine, there was no holes in it, so we put it back in and pumped it up, and the packer should be good to go now. So I'm gonna just fold it up real quick, and we're gonna get something to eat, and then we'll come back and head to some fields. It's so dry out here, which at the moment is a good thing. It could get to be a bad thing if we don't get some rain at some point this spring, but for right now it's good. It lets us get some tillage out of the way. So this field here, corn stalks, we disked them last fall. We're going to hit them again with the disc right now to level them out and to get some nice loose dirt for a good seed bed for our soybeans. And hopefully we'll be able to just come and plant it in a month. I'm sure we'll be able to just come and plant it in a month. So Brock is bringing the disc. He's right down there. I am going to let him work on this field, and I'm just gonna ride with him for a couple of rounds and help him get the feel for this. He did run that disc last fall a little bit, but it's still really big equipment that he is relatively new at running. Pulling the packer is a little bit different than not pulling the packer like we did in the fall. So we're just gonna make sure he's comfortable and knows what he's doing before we just turn him loose out here. But there's about 80-ish acres in this field. Should take 3 or 4 hours. He's got to quit by 4 or 4:30 today, so he may or may not get it done. But it'll be close, and we'll start moving. All right, so we're working on our first round here. I just wanted to stop and get out and look and see how deep everything's going and whether we're too deep or not. I think we are probably a little bit too deep, but it's doing a good job. So yeah, we've got some adjustments that it looks like I need to make with the level. We got a little bit of a hump in the middle, which is creating this ridge right here, so we can adjust the pitch of the disc to adjust that. But everything else looks pretty good. We're going to shallow it up a little bit. Nice loose dirt. We'll be able to plant this. It'll work nice. Well, you're not going to see much from in here. It's dusty. May still need to shallow it up just a little bit. We'll look when we get here at the end, because you can't see anything now. Well, we broke a bolt on that spring right there, so I ran back to the farm and got one, and we put that on there. It's not quite the right bolt, but it works. So we're gonna let Brock keep moving here and go jump in a field cultivator. See how it throws the dirt to level there. Let's go do some field cultivating. Well, I was going to jump in the 8335R with the little field cultivator and go while they were working on this, but he is here, and we're diagnosing. It seems to be some clamps are loose. I'll show you in a minute, but he's trying to put a little Freon in to make sure that our compressor is working. All right, well, it's gonna work for a little bit. See how dirty it is around these clamps? Apparently the clamps wear out and then it starts leaking. So we're not gonna mess with it because he did charge it and it is working. So we know the compressor is good, but those clamps are worn out and gotta be replaced. And I asked him, I said, well, are the ports or the tubes lines wore out? And he said, no, it's the clamps. Apparently there's a shoulder on them wears or something. Seems like a pretty crappy design to me, but whatever. So he's gonna get those ordered, and we're gonna go to the field. I did look at shovels to see if we needed to change any. I thought there was a couple. There are some that are close, but I'm gonna keep wearing them. They're expensive, so we wear them out. We need to wash our window here. Oh, well, we'll get there. All right, so this field, we've got, there's 140 in the field, but there's a couple of fingers over here off of this that were cover crops last year. This whole field, no, not this whole field. Maybe. Yeah, this whole field was wheat a year ago. And so on those parts, we seeded our oats and radishes. We did not in here. This is where we had clover growing that, if you remember last year I showed you. This is also the field where we had our tile project, and if you look real close you can see the tile lines over there. We did some up in this corner, and I can feel them when I bounce over them. So this field I wanted to fit down now while we can early, just in case the tile lines are too rough or they settle, we can hit it again before we plant if we need to. So we're gonna do this one. There's 100 acres to do here, and should take me 4 or 5 hours. So, yeah, it's rough out here. These tile lines have all settled over winter, and this one's not going to be much fun. I made it over to the other side of this waterway that Dad put in last summer here and seeded down and got a really good catch of the grass there, so that's awesome. Hopefully that'll control some of the erosion. If you go back and find my videos, I have no idea what number, but from last summer, you'll see we had a huge gully there from the massive rain we had last spring. That should take care of it and fix it, along with all the tile that we put in here to help get the surface water off and just to drain everything better. So I'm done bouncing over tile lines up there, but now I've got them all back here in this corner, and it's still rough. So I was just watching one of Zach's old videos, and it reminded me of something. For those of you that have watched Zach for a long time, or you found my channel via his, or whatever, this thing right here that we're pulling, this is what he calls a digger. And I don't know why people from Minnesota call it a digger, but it's a field cultivator. Same thing. So, you know, if you were confused, Zach's the one that's wrong, and the rest of the country is right. It is, in fact, a field cultivator. Well, I've made it past the end of the woods there into the shorter rows here, so no more tile lines to bounce over, which is good. It's still super dry and dusty, although, look, there's some water. So that spot over there is where Dad was kind of mining some of the nice black dirt out, filling in different areas. It's also where he got stuck. So yeah, it's wet now. So gotta be a little careful over here because we got all that water, and this is all kind of dirt that Dad filled in last summer. I'm not sure how firm it is. It doesn't seem to be wet, but it's also this really fluffy, light, black, mucky soil that we do not want to dig deep. It can push in front of our packer. We just want to level it off. So I lift the field cultivator up so it's just scratching the surface there when we go through that. And then once we get coming back up on some higher ground here, we can set it back down. And now that I can see the packer again, it looks like it did okay. The first pass that I made, well, the last pass over one, it pushed on me a little bit. So, all right, we got to do some end rows here along these woods, and we'll be in shorter rows again. So I just did those end rows along the trees. You see how black that dirt is there? Well, that's all dirt that Dad dug out of here and moved up there. We had a low spot that was always wet, and this black dirt, while it's fluffy and can be hard to farm, it's very productive. So should help those end rows out quite a bit. I'll make this last pass floating along here. Sorry for the spinning. Yeah, definitely pushing with our packer now a little bit. It's pulling harder, that's all I can tell because I can't see it. But now we're out of the worst of it. Alright. Since it's not quite so dusty now, you can sort of see what I'm talking about with the dirt, this light fluffy stuff pushing in front of the packer. Well, you could. It's doing it just a little bit. Mostly it always is in the center section. Yeah, just doing end rows here. Well, there's 100 acres knocked out, and ready to plant, whenever that may be. So we'll fold her up here, head back to the farm. We didn't use that much fuel to do 100 acres, but I'm going to fuel it up anyway. That way we're ready to go for tomorrow. It's a 6:15 now, and it's March, so I'm not going to another field tonight. We don't start a new field at 7 o'clock at night in March. So I'm going to go home and see my kids here. But I am going to get everything ready to go for tomorrow. So we're going to fuel the tractor up. I'm going to look through the field cultivator again, see if we got any shovels changed yet, because we got to be getting close. I don't know. And I did notice on one of my drag sections up there, right there, there's a piece broken. That bar and that bar are supposed to be connected together. So we'll fix that while we got time here tonight. 73 gallons. I feel like 3/4 of a gallon per acre isn't too bad for field cultivating, so that's good. All right, I'm gonna back this up over there so I can unfold it. So on this drag, it's got these kind of links that tie the drag bars together there. This one here has clearly broken, so we need to replace it. I've got a new one right there. We just gotta take the bolt out, put it in. Now that's not worn at all, is it? There's a bushing that goes in there. Yeah, she's yep. The bushing's worn too, but I don't know that I have any of those. And this is not a critical thing that it has to be tight. These are gonna slop all over the place anyway, so it just has to stay together. Okay, well, I'm gonna go home. 7 o'clock. So thanks for watching today. We're gonna hit it again tomorrow. I don't think Brock is gonna be here. He said there was a chance, but probably not. So I think maybe Phil's gonna run that disc tomorrow. Dad is gonna finish spraying the wheat in the morning. We've got a little bit of nitrogen that needs to be done. Maybe 200 acres, I think. So he's gonna take care of that, and then he's gonna keep working on moving dirt where he was at today, I think. We're considering moving to Berkey, but I don't think it's gonna happen tomorrow. What I would really like to do is get that 8300, hook that up to the little field cultivator instead of the 8R, and take it down there and just leave it, because I don't care if that gets rained out down there and it's stuck there for a while. It's no big deal. But I don't want the 8R down there and then we get rained out for 2 or 3 weeks and it's stuck there and I gotta switch tractors or something to get the planter out. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going down to my seed warehouse to swap trucks, and then I'm going home. So thanks for watching. When it rains this week, we're gonna start treating beans later in the week, so I'm working on that too. I'm trying to get stuff warmed up a little bit. I haven't got the heater out yet, but it was 65 degrees out or more today, and it's supposed to be like 70 tomorrow or Wednesday. So I don't know that I'm gonna need any heat, which is good. But anyway, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, questions, comments, leave them down below. See ya.